All right, folks, we're in the month of December, and I thought it would be neat to kick off our very first news video for the month of December with a single topic. And it's rare we do things like this because, one, I don't really find most individual topics necessarily worthy of their own video. But also, hey, when we combine a bunch of news together like we normally do, the generic titles are what work. This is actually a more specific title, and specific titles don't necessarily always do well either. So, a bit of a risk on this one, putting it out there. But hey, look, we did just come off our most watched video out of our last 10 uploads. So I do appreciate you guys tuning into the video yesterday. Also, we gained more subscribers yesterday than we have gained on any other day in the entirety of 2025. I thank you guys so much for subscribing. We are back above 160,000 subscribers. We're now on our road, obviously, to get to that next 10,000 mark and go to 170. So if you're enjoying the content, and hey, if you want more of these individual single topic videos, subscribe and watch this one because, hey, videos like this doing well just encourages me to maybe dive a little bit deeper into each individual topic in their own video if you guys want to see more of that. That being said, before we dive in, I got to let you know we are giving away 3 copies of Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate for Switch 2. You can enter through the link down in the description or pinned comment. And let's go ahead and just dive right in. So the Nintendo Switch 2 has an MSRP of $450 US, and we're talking about what's the $349.99 technically in the United States. And then the bundle, be it Mario Kart and or Legends ZA, well, that is actually at $500. Now, we've known this since the system came out. I have the $500 bundle myself. You can see it down there with the Mario Kart World sticker on it. Yeah, that was the bundle, the $500 bundle. Well, as we enter into Cyber Week, we were talking about how there would not be pretty much any... how do I put this? Any actual sales on Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. It just wouldn't happen, not during its first holiday. I've been staunch about this, and I'm wrong. Because as of today, Amazon and Walmart are both selling the Mario Kart World Bundle for the same price, that's right, as a base Nintendo Switch 2. You can see right here over Nintendo Deals where I first found this out. So I wanted to give him a shout out for this. But we can actually just go directly look at the retailers because obviously direct to source is the way to go. On Amazon here, you'll see the $449, aka a 10% discount, which I want to be clear, that is the retailer cut of the sale. So they're not losing money on this. They're just cutting out their own retail margin. And look, 80,000 were bought in the last month. So the thing is, 80,000 of this were bought in the last month, and that was before the discount. So the point is that, like, you know, it was already selling well. They didn't have to lower the price. But why did Amazon lower the price? Well, they lowered the price because Walmart lowered the price. Now, Walmart has this thing where you have to add it to the cart to see it. And I don't know if I'm logged in, so let's see if it adds it to the cart or not. No, I have to be signed in. Anyways, the point is the reason Walmart has it set this way is because Nintendo is not the one authorizing this discount. Whenever Nintendo doesn't authorize a discount, some websites have policies in place where Nintendo can request you don't show that discounted price on your public website until people add it to their cart. This is often so other retailers don't feel undercut. It's just Nintendo trying to protect the retailers that aren't doing discounts. But just to kind of go over and show you that, you know, from a website you guys probably trust pretty well if you're into video game sales, we're at Deku Deals over here. You can see that $449 price point listed there for Walmart. And no, GameStop is actually completely sold out right now, which is... damn, there's your first online retail sellout for the holidays. We still see Target, My Nintendo Store, and Best Buy have not participated in this discount. Amazon was price matching Walmart, who was the first person to put it down. Now, look, there's a couple ways to look at this price stuff here with the Switch 2. And one of them is admittedly pretty negative. And that would be Walmart, since they're the ones that started this. Amazon is just price matching, so we'll go with Walmart. Had so many Switch 2 bundles still sitting in their warehouses and stores that didn't sell over Black Friday or the weekend, that they have decided that they need to clear out some inventory. So while we're not going to take a loss on selling this, we're going to cut out our profit margin and drop the price of the bundle $50 in order to move units and clear out shelf space and clear out the warehouse. This would be an indication that Switch 2 is not selling very well this holiday season. Okay, so that is the cynic take, but it is a take that we need to consider because we don't know why the decision was made. So to be clear, we have to consider all scenarios, and that includes the negative one where this is happening because people aren't buying the Switch 2, so it's already being discounted. All right, that's one possibility. The other possibility, and look, there's probably some other scenarios you can come up with, other reasons, but the other possibility that I can see is that this is just called competitive pricing. They didn't lower the price of the standard Switch 2 that doesn't have a bundle, so it's actually at the same price. So they're not lowering the price overall of the base Switch, just the bundle. So they're basically just saying, here, have Mario Kart World for free. So I think this is a competitive thing where Walmart wanted to drive more of the Nintendo sales, like people looking for Switch 2s this holiday. They wanted to draw them more to their website. And I say their website because when I was actually in store, was it earlier this morning, it was still listed as $4.99 in store. However, I believe the stores will price match Walmart.com. I'm pretty positive they will, but you know, in store, they're not advertising that they're selling this for $4.50 online. So, at least locally at my store, I don't know. Your stores could be different. My store maybe just didn't get the labels updated yet. I have no idea. I wasn't trying to actually go at checkout with the Switch 2. That said, the other explanation is basically that they're just being price competitive. They want to drive customers to their website because they figure if you're on their website and you go to buy this bundle, you might be more willing to throw in another game. You might be willing to throw in a third-party accessory or a Switch 2 official accessory. It's called a loss leader, okay? We talked about this when we saw discounts happening in France, about how sometimes retailers will take a brand new product and cut their margin off it, and we call it a loss leader. Walmart here at $4.49 is not actually losing money. They're just not making a profit. They're selling it for at what they are paying to have that unit. So it's very fascinating that we've reached this point. But I don't know if this is just a sales tactic and it was already selling really well. We saw Amazon again. We saw them drop the price after we could see it was actually selling very well on Amazon the last month. So why would they need to drop the price? Well, because they don't want to lose out on customers to Walmart. It's a competition thing. This is what happens when one retailer makes the leap and drops it to $4.49. Amazon's always going to quickly follow suit because they don't want to lose out on online sales. I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of the week, Best Buy and Target have that price dropped as well. We'll see if GameStop does. GameStop is currently sold out, so you know it's hard to know if they're going to drop the price. The price match. The My Nintendo store will be the one store that's probably not going to drop the price since this is not a Nintendo authorized price drop. But it's very interesting. Again, cynic take is it's not selling very well, so it's hitting discount bins. The non-cynic take is just Walmart is trying to compete and drive more customers to their website instead of Amazon, Best Buy, Target, etc. And in doing so, hoping you'll buy other products, using it as a loss leader, not because it's not selling well, but because they want to grab that specific audience that might be shopping on other retailers just to maybe draw them in and buy other accessories and games and all that tend to have much larger margins for Walmart. So take that for what you will. Of course, we're all just guessing at this point. I just have to say, I do think it's fascinating that this is happening. Again, it's happened in France. I think one other European country happening. Now we're starting to see it happen in the U.S. So, look, this is good. Look, I love us being able to buy things for a cheaper price. So this also, unironically, is going to probably lead to an even bigger boost in sales for Cyber Week. And it's possible that that's what these prices are all about as well. We have to remember that it is Cyber Monday, it is Cyber Week, and maybe Walmart was pre-planning ahead of time as a loss leader during the highest sales period of the year that they wanted to drop this during Cyber Week, and it might be right back up to MSRP at the end of the week, and then Amazon will probably update as well and go right back to MSRP too. So it is all possible that this is just a ploy for Cyber Week, and we can't ignore this as well. I guess it's a third option to toss in there because, hey, if you were looking for deals for Switch 2, oh, there's not going to be any. There's not going to be any. Oh, look, there is one, and it's for this week. Which, by the way, there's going to be a lot of people who bought a Switch 2 over the weekend that are now going to hear this story and be like, shit, can we return this and rebuy it and get our $50 off? Especially if you bought it at Walmart and Amazon. I can see some people maybe not being so happy that they got to now deal with some shit so they can get this discount applied to a purchase they just made 3 days ago. Assuming they bother to put in the effort or they're even paying attention that this price drop is happening, which could just be this week only. All right. You guys let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. I am Nathaniel Rovajance from Nintendo Prime. Oh, man. I hope this video does well because I do like diving a little bit deeper in these individual topics, having a bit more of a conversation flow. And thank you as well for all the well wishes for my dog. I saw all of it. We even had a super thanks where people were just like, hey, you know, you're going through some stuff. Thank you so much. What an incredible community we have here. And again, as I said, he's feeling fine right now. But again, he's all hopped up on steroids and medicine and all these painkillers and stuff. So like, yeah, he feels great, but you know, we can't keep him on that kind of stuff forever. So we'll see. We'll have results in a couple of weeks and I'll make sure I make at least a small update, positive or negative, in the future and let you guys know what the results are of all the testing. So thank you guys. It warmed my heart to read a lot of those messages. Catch you guys in the next video.